If you're someone that's looking to get into the headshot photography business, then in this video, I'm going to share with you a framework that's going to help to get your business off the ground. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be very different. I don't normally talk about business on this channel. Typically it's about photography techniques, that sort of thing. But I've been getting a lot of comments and a lot of questions from you regarding the business of photography, specifically around corporate headshots. Now corporate headshots that's probably 90% of the work that I do, and that's why I'm making this video. I'm also making this video because I wasn't able to find anything like what I'm about to share with you today. Sure, there are snippets here and there, but you have to put it all together. There's nothing that gives you a whole framework of everything that you need in place in order to have a successful business. Now, I've been doing this for now around about 12 years. And so I've tested a lot of things that work and a lot of things that don't work. So what I'm going to give you today is everything that I do, and I just keep repeating this in order to run a successful business. So I'm not going to hold back on anything, but what I am going to do is I'm going to give you the framework. I'm going to give you a brief description of each component that you need, but it's going to be a brief one. Now, after this video, over the next couple of months, every week I'm going to be releasing one video, and we're going to do a deep dive on each one of these things in here. And that's when we're going to be able to unpack it and really get into the guts of it. I can't do it now because otherwise we'd have a 2-hour long video. And so I'm going to break it up into almost like chapters, but we're going to go deep into everything that I'm going to share with you today. So that's the idea. Now, if you want to see those videos, then I suggest that you subscribe to the channel, because my channel is just not big enough and it will not be suggested most likely. So if you want to make sure that you see the following videos, then please make sure that you subscribe and click the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified when I upload the latest video. But for a lot of you, maybe this video is just going to be enough. But I just tell you, just so that you're aware that if you want to see the other videos, you probably will have to subscribe. So with that said, let's get started with all the different components there. They are in a sort of an order, but it's a bit of a loose order. Okay, the thing that you need to know is that you need to have all these things in place, I believe, in order to be able to run a successful business. So let's get started. Okay, so the first one really goes without saying, but your work has got to be good. You need to be able to produce something that they're not able to. Now, they might have a friend with a camera, a really high-end camera, or even if you look at the smartphones that are available today, even in the last 3 years, the smarts behind the images that smartphones capture is incredible. So they do things like skin smoothing, they will blur the background in portrait mode and things like that. So the perception from a client is that their phone takes an amazing photographs. So you need to come up with something that's a lot better than that. So that's the first thing that I need you to understand, that if you don't have that, then you need to work on that first. Otherwise, none of the other things that I'm about to share with you are really going to work for you. And just like I said in the beginning of this video, if you want to learn more about how you can improve your skills in the corporate photography space, then make sure that you check out the subsequent videos that are going to be coming out over the next few months. Okay, so the next one really builds on what we just talked about, and that is your portfolio. When you're working on your portfolio, you need to make sure that all your images have the same sort of style to them. If you want to go and shoot people at the park, and you want to shoot people at the beach, and you want to shoot people out in the street and then in the studio, then there's going to be a bit of a mishmash in the style of your photographs. So if you look at my website, for example, then you'll notice that all the images, and I'll link to it somewhere in here, but all the images kind of look the same. It's sort of almost, you could almost say that it's boring almost. But when a client looks at my website, and that's the style of photograph that they see, if that connects, or if that resonates with them, and that's the kind of photograph that they like, then they're going to be quite confident that that's what they're going to get. And this is why people book you. So you need to make sure that in your portfolio, you've got images that are coherent and they have a similar sort of style. And the idea here is that you are giving your client a sense of confidence to what their images are going to look like. Now, if you don't have a portfolio at all, then what you need to do is start photographing your friends and your family or anyone else that you know. Now, I will say this, if you can photograph someone that you know, then you'll be miles ahead when you get an actual client in front of you. Photographing people that already know you, it means that you have no credibility with them. They know that you don't know how to shoot a headshot. So that is the best kind of practice that you can do. If you can photograph someone that you know, you're going to be miles ahead when you have an actual client in front of your camera. And if you don't have any friends or family that want to participate or help you with this, then there are still a lot of other things that you can do. And I'll talk about all these in the subsequent videos that I'm going to show you a whole bunch of different ways that you can actually build up your portfolio. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to need is a website and possibly, depending on where you live, a business name as well. But when you're picking out a domain name for yourself, don't try to get too clever with it. You need to get something that's descriptive of what you do. So a lot of people will have things like their name and then they'll have the word photography at the end of it. So, but it needs to be descriptive. So in my case, I've got danquinteroheadshots.com.au, obviously because I'm in Australia. So that's another thing, that if you are in a country other than the US, do make sure that you get your local domain as well, because that's really important. It gives people confidence that you are where you say you are. And if you are going to get a business name, make sure that it matches the domain name as well. And something that you need to understand is that your website is not going to bring you that many clients. It's there just for validations. So we are going to talk about in the next videos about ways to get clients and the type of marketing that I do that works for me. And then your potential clients are then going to look you up on your website to make sure that you are who you say that you are. And that just acts as a validation process for them to build up the confidence to get in touch with you, to work with you. And while we're talking about websites, do make sure that you get all the social media channels as well. So things like your Instagram, your Twitter, and your Facebook, and your LinkedIn. Those are the 4 main ones that I use. And do make sure that you can get the profiles with the same name as the one that you're using for your website. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to need is a defined working space. Now, for most of us, that's going to be a home studio of some sort. I'm 12 years into this and I still shoot out of my home studio. I have no need for a dedicated space that I need to pay rent on. It helps me to be more competitive in my pricing, and so I get more work because of that. Now, some people do have an issue with that. And when I say people, I'm not talking about clients. I'm talking about other photographers. And it's something that we build up in our own heads that somehow, the client's going to come in and think less of you because you're working in a home studio. I can tell you now, I've shot thousands of sessions in here and I've never had anybody say anything negative about the fact that I work out of my own home. In fact, it's been the complete opposite. People do like it, and they've commented how much more relaxing it is to be in somebody's house. And also because I've got everything that I need here, I'm able to look after my clients better. I can make them a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a cold water, that sort of thing. So don't get that into your head, which is something that happened to me in the beginning. I was really scared about what the clients potentially might say, but it's not a thing at all. I guarantee it. And they're going to actually appreciate the fact that it's a more relaxed space for you to take that photo. So one of the best things about having a dedicated shooting space is that you're going to be able to work on your lighting setup. And this is going to contribute to that when we were talking about before in your portfolio, having a consistent look. You're going to be able to develop and work and tweak a lighting setup that works for you. And because you're always shooting in the same space, you're going to know straight away where the light stands go, what the power of your lights are going to be, and it's just going to help the efficiency of all the sessions that you run. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to need is a price list. And it's you need to get a price list that you're going to stick to it, okay? You cannot divert from this price list. You cannot give discounts on prices. I think in the beginning, mostly because we want to get business, we tend to over discount. And we're over discounting on a price list that's typically it's underpriced to begin with. So you need to come up with the right numbers. And if you want to know how to come up with the numbers, the correct prices that you should be charging, which depend on a number of things, we'll talk about that in the pricing video that's coming out in a few weeks. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you check out that video. I've got some notes in here because all this stuff is actually very, very important. You need to create 2 price lists. One is going to be for your studio sessions and the other one's going to be for your on location. Now, on location is much more expensive, okay? Because if you're doing let's say three sessions in your studio per day, if you have to go travel to a client's location, most likely that's going to be the only shoot that you do on that day. So you need to be compensated for that. And I'll show you some of the formulas that I use to go up to the prices that I have as well. And the other thing that I wanted to tell you was that I stay away from packages. Packages don't seem to work very well. What I found is having a session fee and then a per image cost or per image price tends to work best for me. And also, very important, I do not sell any unedited image. The only photographs that they get are the ones that they want to buy, which then go to editing. So only edited photographs are for sale, nothing else, no raw images. So that's very, very important. And again, I'll explain why. We'll go into details in the subsequent pricing video. Okay, so next we're going to talk about money. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not qualified to do that, but I can tell you what I do, and maybe this is something that's helpful to you. So when I get paid, 60% of it goes into a fund, and I do not touch that fund. That's there for taxes and unexpected expenses. I also grab 10% of the money, and that goes into a kiddie fund. And that kiddie fund is there to pay for any new equipment that I want to buy, or if I want to replace something, it comes out of that fund. And if there's not enough money in that fund for me to be able to purchase something, then I just do not purchase it. And then I'm left over with 30%, and that is my wage that I use to live on. So again, this is not professional financial advice. This is just what I do. And then you're going to have to come up with your own formulas that work for you. Okay, so next, you're going to have to do some sort of marketing. You can't get around this. If you don't do marketing, you don't have a business. So you're going to have to approach people and let them know what your services are to see if they're interested. So offices such as real estate offices, I've got some things written down here. Executives usually work through their assistants. Okay, so any office assistants, for example, or office managers, they're the people that you're going to want to talk to. And marketing companies themselves, right? So the great thing about marketing companies is that they understand the power of a photograph. Okay, so they're usually a bit of an easier sell. Now, the method that you contact these people, there's a number of different methods that I use. I'm just going to give you a couple here. And if you want to know more about, there'll be the marketing video. But LinkedIn is a really good way to connect with these people. And there are different methods. There are specific methods, in fact, that just yield a better return. Okay, so that is something that if you're interested in and it's not currently not working out for you, you're going to want to see in the next video. The other thing that you need to do is you need to tell everybody that you know that you are now a headshot photographer. The word of mouth is by far the most effective way of marketing. So you need to not get shy about that and just own it. You are a headshot photographer, and you need to tell everybody that that's what you do, and get them to help you to spread the word. Okay, so that is really, really important. The other thing is networking. Now, this one here people struggle with because this is face to face. It's not email marketing, which is quite easy to, anyone can write an email and send it off, but people get really shy about marketing face-to-face networking. So I bet you, again, this is something that you're not going to be able to get around. You're going to need to do this. So just, own it. And there are techniques to be able to, if you get anxiety about this, there are ways to deal with this. But if you could do this, then you're going to be light years ahead of your competition, because most people do not do this. And this is something that makes a massive, massive difference. So do make sure that you look at Facebook groups that meet on a regular basis, like once a month, things like your Chamber of Commerce, organizations such as those, okay? And try to attend as many of those functions as possible. You're not going to go in there to sell to people, but you want to go in there and introduce yourself and let people know what you do. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to need is to come up with some sort of scripts. So these scripts are there when someone contacts you or when you contact them. Now, you're not going to read these word for word, but the basic outlines and frameworks that you can use to be able to say the right things or ask the right questions that maybe it's going to persuade somebody to book in with you. If you don't sound professional, then that is one reason why they're probably not going to book with you. So make sure that you come up with some sort of scripts. And the easiest way to do this is to have a little conversation with yourself. Just pretend that you're talking to someone on the phone, and if you know all the answers ahead of time, then they're not going to catch you with anything that you're going to sort of stumble with. Okay, so make sure that you come up with some scripts, and again, make them so that when you're contacting them, you've got a script, and also have one for when they're calling you. Okay, so lastly, we're going to talk about service. Your service needs to be excellent. It needs to be better than the competition. When your client receives something that they weren't expecting, they will love that. And that's going to result in things such as really good reviews on your website, which make a massive difference when people are looking for someone to book with. Okay, and if you look at the number one complaint that people have for photographers is that people don't get their images back on time. So in this particular scenario, I'm going to encourage you to under promise and over deliver every single time. If you know that you can get the images edited and back to your client within 1 or 2 days, then you say that you're going to get them back in 3 or 4 days, say 3 days, 4 days, whatever. Build a little bit of fat in case you run into trouble. But when you do get them done in 1 or 2 days, get them back to them early. Okay, they're really going to appreciate that, and you're going to get really, really good feedback, and all of that stuff comes around, and we'll talk about that in the marketing and when you're building a website as to how you include testimonials from clients. And you're going to get much better testimonials if you provide just excellent, out of this world service. So that is the final thing and the final component that I want to share with you today. Again, we're going to be talking about each one of these in details in subsequent videos. So if you're interested, make sure that you check them out. Okay, so that's it. I hope you found this list useful. If you did and you would like to support me, please make sure that you click the like button. And if you want to see the rest of the videos that are related to this one, or you're just interested in photography techniques, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because I do put videos out every week to help you with your photography. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those, click the subscribe button and the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified when I upload a new video. And if you are interested in the Lightroom preset of the month, make sure you check out ministryoffphoto.com, and you'll find all the information in there on how you can sign up so that it gets delivered directly to your email. So that is everything that I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.